You know, lots of people want to be full-time YouTubers. They want to get out there and make that money shooting cool videos, traveling the world, checking out roadside attractions, and just enjoying life, trying to make YouTube their full-time gig job. For a lot of us, I mean, it's very rare that you can do that, but you can do it. So I'm not trying to discourage anybody out there to not try and do it. I want to do that one day. I just want YouTube to be my full-time gig work. I doubt it'll ever happen. You know, it's a luck of the draw. But you can do the YouTube videos, but you still have to generate revenue while doing that. If you're trying to focus 100% on YouTube, at the beginning, or at least when you have just a few thousand subscribers, you have to do other work to kind of fill in the gaps of what YouTube pays. That's what I'm doing. I'm nomadic hippie, professional gig worker. Good morning, everybody. I am traveling down the back roads of Florida, Central Florida to be more specific. I am heading to a town called Leesburg, Florida. I gotta move my seat up a little bit so I'm not laying down. You get too complacent sometimes with full self-driving, and it's like, man, one of these days I'm just gonna end up falling asleep. Can't have that happen. But I mean, really, I'm driving through the country. I'm not in the swamps. I'm not in the forest. I'm just in the country. So you have to pay for your life. You have to pay for your bills. You have to pay for your adventures. And if you don't have a regular job or are deciding to leave your job and be an entrepreneur and do things that come to find out everybody else in the country is doing at the same time, but you got to kind of work your way into it. It could be a little bit tough. It could be hard. I mean, you want to focus on the YouTube stuff, but you got to pay for those trips. You got to pay for the museums. You got to pay for your adventures all along while trying to pay, like I said, for your home, your car insurance, your food, your car, your new clothing. Though I didn't buy this DeliverThat clothing. Steph got it for me. She thinks, you know what? Dress for success. No matter what type of job you're doing, dress for that. You can't just go cater food dressed in swim trunks and flip-flops. I said, I know. So this is the first time going out prepared. And when I do Uber and Lyft, I don't dress like this. I can tell you it's definitely a struggle when you're used to working for a company as a truck driver, myself, over the last 30 years. When you try and do things on your own, it's tough. You do get worried. How am I going to do this? How much money do I need to make today? Luckily, I got a good partner in Steph where she's been doing this for about 2 years now. So she's kind of guiding me through it. And as she's helping me, she's struggling herself at the moment because she's trying to help me instead of focusing strictly on herself.
And take the second.
Listen to any of you guys that are thinking about doing this, if you don't have that one person in your life that is willing to kind of sacrifice a little bit to help you advance in the future, watch a lot of YouTube videos. I mean, you're making the YouTube videos, or you're either a creator or a viewer, but no matter what, you're in that ecosystem doing one or the other. Use that platform to learn, because it'll take some of the stress off the person that's actually trying to help you and teach you. You can learn some of it from YouTube videos. Not my videos. I don't teach anything. No. I mean, if I was going to give any advice, it'd be choose a car that can grow with you, because, well, for started, my car was too small. I had another electric car, which that's something else. Get electric, stay away from gas. It's a lot cheaper in the long run. But the last car was a Nissan Leaf. It suited the Uber rideshare and Uber Eats crowd. But later on, you're going to want to take larger items. Definitely pick the car for the size of jobs you think in the future you might be gathering and getting. And it worked out a lot with the RV too. We should have got a bigger RV. We were thinking about something our cars could pull at the time, which was a Chevy Bolt and a Nissan Leaf, and we wanted to tow our home with one of those cars, so we stayed with the small trailer. We never thought, okay, well, we're going to be advancing up and getting bigger paying offers, we're going to need more room in the cars, you know, to fold the seats down and put all this food and catering and stuff in. And so when we ended up getting the new cars, we go, you know what? A couple months ago, we should have just got the larger RV too, but it's hindsight, right? You never know. You don't look into the future, but with this type of stuff, you should probably look into the future. And if you're going to kind of merge into a gig economy type thing, make sure your vehicle can suit the future, not just what it does right now. You kind of got to look what it's going to do then. That's my only advice. Anyway, let's go over, pick up this load, and kind of run throughout the day just doing this, and then generate enough revenue to put some away for bills and go on a little roadside adventure hunt. Right over there is our first gig job of the day. For DeliverThat, I am taking a Cracker Barrel order. Some of you out there might be asking, what is so far, just so far, not you know, what, I don't know what is in the future, but right now, as of this point, what is the best gig job? Is it Uber Eats? Is it DoorDash? Is it rideshare? Is it Lyft? I'd like it to be YouTube. It's not going to happen. I'm going to say catering. It's not just DeliverThat. There's other catering services out there. Our preferred one is DeliverThat. And yeah, it's a great gig. It kind of messed up there for a short time at the beginning of July, but it's starting to, like I said in other videos, it's picking up. And yeah, it's definitely top tier, la crema de creme, whatever that. God, I need to watch Warner Brothers cartoons more often. Vocabulary is, I'm forgetting my vocabulary from when I was a child. I've eaten a Cracker Barrel quite a bit, but I've never picked up a catering order. This here's an okay size one. This is a $358 order I'm picking up. But I don't know, you know, let me explain this. As a truck driver, when you're a truck driver, you're driving all over the country. You're going to different warehouses, you know, all over the United States. And each warehouse does things differently, kind of like all restaurants do things differently. And you don't know what you're supposed to do when you show up. You just kind of just glide on through and just hope that everything works out smoothly. So far it has. And I attribute being able to deal with things like this because of my truck driver past. So I know how warehouses work, distribution centers, and everything else. And I'm just treating this job like I would if I was truck driving when I show up to a customer or a pickup. I'm treating this like a distributor, and then I'm taking it to a warehouse, or I'm taking it to a warehouse, which is whoever's going to eat the food. So I'm just playing it like that. But sometimes you come into places like this, Cracker Barrel has a front store, you know, the bathrooms, the store, and then the greeting area where they go and sit you. And then just before they sit people, there's a little door in there where the cooks and stuff go in and out. Is that where I pick up the food at? Or do I drive around the back of the building and pick up the food behind the building where the deliveries come in? I don't know. And sometimes it gets you a little bit nervous, but I always like to arrive about 5 minutes early, kind of stake it out a little bit, use the restroom, get a cup of coffee, and have a look-see. Then I know what I'm getting myself into 5 minutes later when it's time to work. But never let the fear of the unknown stop you from trying something like this. Don't be afraid. I know it's easy to say. Yeah, so Cracker Barrel has it set up pretty nice. We have bags of stuff, and they bring everything out to the store area. So it's nice and easy. We don't have to go back into where everybody's eating, and we just put everything in our buggies. And yeah, that's it. Another good thing about, okay, come on. Oh, thank you so much. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, I got it for you. Have a great day. Oh, okay. Just bring in your wagon into some restaurants. It is a little bit difficult, but hey, that's what we get paid for. Hey, got everything in. Doesn't look too bad. Let's put the trailer away and put it in the front and get to delivering. This is what I said about having the right car for the right job. I can just put this in the front and it fits perfect. Yeah. Let's see, that doesn't work. Let's do it that way. There we go. Yeah, should fit perfect. Yep, that works. Okay, we are in, and I got it through the lobby. This is what I am working with. Would you look at this? This could be the nicest setup station at a doctor's office I've ever had to work with. And look at this. This is what makes this job different than DoorDash and Uber Eats. Instead of leaving stuff at the front of somebody's door, you come in and set it up, and just a little bit more professional. That's why I'm wearing the clothing. Normally I wear my Hawaiian clothing or my Tommy Bahama, but because Steph got me this stuff, I'm gonna wear it on my deliveries. Not to say that I won't use the proper equipment for those type of jobs neither. I mean, I have them. I have everything I need for pizza delivery, for DoorDash delivery, and for Uber deliveries. It's always good to have the right equipment. A lot of times you go into places and you see the other drivers, they don't have anything. How hard is it to go into a Papa John's or something and bring a pizza bag with you? I've actually went into pizza places or McDonald's even with my bags, and like I'll be doing a catering offer or a large item offer or order, right? And then there'll be a DoorDash or an Uber Eats driver there, no bags, no nothing, t-shirt, flip-flop, shorts, wondering. And well, they've asked me. They said, "Oh, you must got a big order." You know, yeah, it's like a $300 order or a $75 order, and they're picking up a $5 order, and they're going, "How did you do that?" Well, you get the equipment, share the companies, the photos that you use, of the products that you have with you, and then make sure you use them. Use the products that you purchase. Use the bags. Use the cart. You know, dress a little bit nicer. You don't have to be walking around in a holey t-shirt and shorts when you're delivering the food. Take a little bit of pride in it. You don't have to go above it. I mean, you don't have to wear a tuxedo or anything, but just dress nicer and have the equipment. Use it. And eventually you're going to start leveling up, and you're going to get away from those $5 orders. Now, not all the time. I do a lot of those $5 orders with DoorDash and Uber Eats all the time. But once you get closer to preferred status or whatever, you know, is in each gig, each app has a different name. But once you start leveling up, you do start getting those higher paying offers. But you got to take pride in it. Just don't run and just use the paper bag that McDonald's comes in. Put the paper bag in a hot bag. Keep the food hot for the customer. You'll start leveling up, and you'll start seeing those higher dollar orders. It just is kind of starting to happen to me now, and I'm realizing that's what's doing it. And then you get those people, those customers that go, "Is there a way to request you every time?" Makes you feel good. I don't know if they can request me every time, but hey, if you want to, and the company will do it, I'll bring your food every time. So that was a quick little money maker. Now I'm going to go out and finish up my day and get the last 200 at home. But first I got to go change into the appropriate attire. That's something else I just learned that I should have known all along. Bring your change of clothes with you. After you do a catering order like this, you should be able to downgrade a little bit into a nice t-shirt and nice pants and comfortable shoes, and finish out your day. You know, I don't want to be delivering Uber or DoorDash wearing a DeliverThat shirt or hat, because I honestly, there's too many YouTube videos out there, YouTube creators talking about the gig economy and how it goes, and it's bringing more people in. It's bringing too many people into the business, and it's taking work away from me. I don't want that. You guys stay away. Stay away. This economy's, or this gig stuff sucks. Don't do it. I'm kidding. There's enough work for everybody. Till the next time, I'll see you guys from down the road. Peace, everybody.